Hey guys, with year 2 of Pokemon Unite, it feels like an entirely different world. The Thea Sky Ruins is such a different place to Remote Stadium. It's an entirely new map with entirely new objectives and a completely new way to play the game. Moving forward, not only do we have to learn what works on this map, but we have to forget the habits that we formed in the old one. What worked in Remote Stadium isn't going to work in the Thea Sky Ruins. Now, I don't want to bombard you guys with a million points of information, so for this video we're going to focus on one point, and that point is tempo. Now, what is tempo? Tempo is honestly just the pace of the game. It's the speed that everything is going, and you want to be in the driver's seat. You want to be the one controlling the tempo. You can't steer a car from the passenger seat, so why would you want to sit back and let the game play itself when you can play the game? And what I mean by that is you want to make the plays. You want to control the map so the enemy team is reacting to you. You want to be proactive and not reactive. If you are reactive, then you are going to constantly be trying to catch up and always fall short. If you are proactive, it's the enemy team that is going to feel that way. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean just interwear your life and faint again and again and again. What it means is make intelligent plays, make aggressive plays at the right moment, punish enemies for mistakes, and get good positioning and focus on your macro. Macro is the big stuff. Micro are your little plays where you mechanically outplay your opponent. Macro is your big map game-changing stuff. That is what is really important. Now, we're just going to talk about tempo today, but I'll get in some more macro stuff another time. An example of controlling tempo, say early on, is if you're in the top lane and the enemy top laner walks past and just dunks on the goal to get a stack, punish them for that. Take your Natus, take their Natus, take the Baltoy, take everything, because even though they got a stack and a little bit of an attack stat, you've now gotten so much farm that you're likely an entire level ahead of them. Use that level to snowball. You have higher base stats. You can fight them, you can bully them, and you can take the rest of the farm. And by doing that, you will control the tempo of the lane. They have to play off of you now because you're ahead. So anything they do that is not perfect ensures you evolving before them, and that becomes terrifying. Now, the biggest thing I see people doing and not being punished for is overstaying in lane as a jungler. If a jungler comes to your lane and he's sitting there and staying there and just diving the goal over and over and over again, stop walking back into them. Leave the lane, walk into their jungle, and take all of their farm. Now what you're doing is you're setting the pace, you're setting the tempo. If the jungler stays in lane, they lose their farm, so they need to move at your speed and go back to their jungle, or they will fall behind. You've taken a situation where they were trying to control tempo and you've turned it around. Tempo controls everything in the game, and you really need to make it a priority, or you are going to struggle to win games on this new map. If you're a jungler and you're clearing those middle Baltoys, but you see someone overextending onto a goal, go down there. You don't need to get that Baltoy. You go down there, you get that one feint, and now there's 3 of you in the bottom lane, the top lane, wherever you went, and you have a numbers advantage on the one person remaining, and you can push through that goal. You can score points, because on this new map, it is so hard to come back from behind. So why wouldn't you want to be in the lead the entire game? I see time and time again, so many people just standing around not doing anything, and it's hard to win games when people aren't playing it. I don't hold this against any of the players. We got away with playing the game lazily for an entire year. We could just farm for 8 minutes and then play the last 2 and win over half of our games. Of course, we're going to have that ingrained into us as the way to play the game, but unfortunately for some, it's just not how the game can be played anymore. Controlling tempo as a team is obviously a lot easier. If you all arrive at an objective early, well, now the enemy team needs to make choices. Can they fight you? If so, on what terms? Because you have positioning, you're already there, they have to play at your pace. In solo queue, it's a little different. In solo queue, you have to kind of play this weird reactive tempo switching, and it's really difficult, but it's really cool and a really fun way to play this new map, and I'm having a blast doing so. If the enemy team has all 5 people go to the top lane and you're on your own, well, go to the bottom lane, because even though they've set the pace and now you have to make a choice, you can go to the bottom lane, you can start scoring, you can start getting the Reggie down there, and now what you've done is you've taken their tempo and you flipped it. Now they need to make their move now. They don't get to sit and wait for you to do something, even though they have positioning, because you're not even there. You're doing something somewhere else. If they take too long, You're going to get the entire bottom lane farm, you're going to get the Reggie, you're going to push the bottom goals, you're going to take their jungle, you're going to punish them for taking too long, and that's all that tempo really is. It's controlling the pace and punishing people for moving at a slower one than you. You need to have your on switch flipped on for the entire game now, and not just the last 2 minutes. Now yes, it's hard to set the tempo when everyone is trying to do it, but that's the beauty of the game. Who can set the tempo greater, and who can react to the other's decisions? If we're always doing something, there's always something to react to, and there's always a play to be made. It's a really interesting way to play the game, and I'm loving this new map. One of the biggest sources of tempo on this entire map is Reggie. Reggie helps you push a lane and score points, giving you a lead and really helping you dominate the enemy team. Because without Reggie, it's not as easy to get a gigantic snowballing lead in points. We don't have Zapdos anymore. Rayquaza is not an instant 500 points. We need to have points going into the end of the game. But one thing I will say is if you take Reggie, if you secure the objective and then you just walk away back into your jungle, it was completely pointless. You just wasted your time and your resources gaining something you weren't even going to use. You need to take Reggie and you need to push it forward. Or you need to walk into the bottom lane and score some points. Or you need to walk into the enemy jungle. You need to use Reggie. You cannot just get it and walk away. That is not tempo. That is trolling your team. You need to use the objectives that you go for. Taking enemy jungles is a really big thing too. Invading is a great way to set tempo. Their jungler falls behind immediately and has to react to you while your jungler gets to farm for free. Invading is a wonderful example of tempo, and I highly recommend it on this new map. I guess the biggest point I'm trying to make in this entire video is that we always have to be doing something. The days of sitting on our goal and spinning in circles are gone. They never should have been there, but we were allowed to do them because the win condition was a lot simpler. Now we need to play the entire game, and it's really going to separate players. We're really going to feel a divide. A lot of people that were masters every season are going to feel like they can't get there this season, and it's just because we got away with playing lazy, and now we need to play with tempo like the top players were before. You cannot just sit back and farm and expect someone to win the game for you. You need to make a play. You need to pull your weight. Now, I'm sure we've all experienced the last 2 minutes on this map where everyone is still trying to figure out what to do, so it seems crazy. It seems incredibly nonsensical. Everyone is running back and forth up the lane, and the entire map really, and there's just nothing going on that makes any sense, and it's just because everyone is still learning the game. Truthfully, I'm sure people are trying to make plays in their own right, but there are some people who will just sit there in a bush and do nothing. Now, the problem with playing the game in a way like that is now you're not setting the tempo. You're going to react to what the enemy does. You're probably thinking, I'll sit in this bush, and if the enemy comes through here, then I'll do something. But now it's the enemy's choice. What if they don't come through there? What if they walk into a lane and score some points? That's not what you expected, and now you have no counterplay to that. They're gonna score those points, and now you might panic and start trying to just rip Rayquaza, and things can just go wrong and spiral out of control. You need to be in the driver's seat. You need to make the plays. You need to take control of your own game. Yes, I'm sure your randoms are very bad. I have felt that time and time and time again. But what could you have done better? How can you improve? What was your impact to the game? If all you did all game was sit behind your team and never faint, you didn't really do anything. You didn't really do your job. You have a job and you have a role, and you need to do that. You need to set tempo in the way that your character can. Hitting your leveled power spikes before your enemy hits their power spikes will set the pace of the game. You need to take control. You need to score points. You need to move around the map. You need to get objectives. You need to get levels. There's a lot that you need to do. I'm not going to go into too much today, but I just wanted to talk about tempo a little and the importance of it and what it even is. When we can get a grasp of tempo as players, we will improve and we will win so many more games. We need to stop looking outwards at all the other players and look to what we can do. If we can't control the pace better than the enemy team, we did not deserve to win that game. Even if we were probably a better player than 4 of them, they had that one player that outclassed us. We need to play the game the way that it's designed to be played. I hope you found this video helpful. It was just me speaking about tempo and the importance of it. It wasn't really going into too many scenarios, not too many plays, not too many ideas, just a couple examples. And I really hope that this helped you identify that maybe that's why you're losing some games. Maybe you're not aggressive enough. Maybe sometimes you're too aggressive, because yes, fainting can cause them to now gain control of tempo. So you do need to be careful at times. Let me know what you think of these style of videos. Is it the kind of stuff that you'd like to see as a viewer? Would you like me to teach you things like this? Because I do teach this by the streams. Come by the streams. I stream a few times a week and I love playing with the viewers and teaching people how to play the game. I'm someone who's hit rank 1 on the leaderboard. I'm someone who has played and won in multiple official monthly tournaments. I am someone that you can trust when it comes to information, and I will do my best not to steer you wrong. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.